the origin story of this Contact Festival core exhibition, Foreground by June Lee, is that a year ago I was standing here in the Goethe-Institut Toronto in our last photo show when this German-Canadian artist walked in, and we struck up a deep conversation immediately about portraiture, about how we move around the city, and also the role that global mobility has played in both of our biographies, about how bodies in front of and behind the camera matter and make a difference. An hour later, we had an idea for a presentation of June Lee's street photography, which had already garnered him a Guggenheim Fellowship. He's investigating his longtime preoccupation with loitering and lingering in the public space. We actually started out talking about the German concept of verweilen initially, and how queer and BIPOC lenses reframe or reclaim that relationship. The way June and I met already tells you something crucial about him, and that is his immense curiosity about really everyone he meets, which affords us this voracious diversity in his work. I believe his background as a physician, educator, and award-winning visual storyteller with a really dedicated, authentic social and relational artistic practice feeds that open and caring view that he has on people around him. The challenge with presenting street photography is how to honor the fact that it's so intricately linked to the urban fabric. So we made this a living, breathing exhibition in the making. June added 3 personal soundtracks to the show, as well as an artist essay that reaches well beyond the gallery space, as does his accompanying media collection that audiences are spending time with, I'm happy to say, and are actually actively contributing to. Right now we have a group of art students in-house for portfolio reviews with June. We've invited 4 emerging photographers to engage with him on the streets of Toronto and add their own photography to the show as we go along. And just last week we expanded the transatlantic conversation with June and prominent Black Berlin arts workers about wayward bodies in the public space. The exhibition titled Foreground points at some of the aspects June and I wanted to reveal with this show, to ground viewers in perceiving how they show up in the public space, to literally foreground often invisible people, whether a Black father or an old man on a walker. And with each image telling multiple stories, the images also seem to talk to each other, to tell what I like to call same but different stories of connection across communities. And that's really, really important to both of us as we develop this project.
For me, it was important to think about street photography, which is always about motion and moving, and the flaneur who kind of moves aimlessly throughout the city and kind of takes random photos of people and places, right? And for me, I wanted to kind of get away from that a little bit and kind of go back to how I practice street photography, which is, it's a kind of moving, but also kind of staying in place and kind of being part of a certain environment, and not just simply moving on, but really spending the time and energy and focus to get to know the place, get to know the people in that space. And something else happens for me when you kind of spend that time and energy, which is not just about taking, but kind of an exchange of energy.
We won't stop there. We have more plans for discovery walks and video conversations, as well as publications. Our outreach into the city space is off to a fun and a smart start with a creative partnership we struck up with Chinese-Jamaican store-cum-restaurant June Plum, who are hosting a satellite window installation of one more of June's beautiful photos.